I said the option that we wait for a transplant, and it may have to be a heart and lung transplant, I don't know. The chances of that happening are non-existent.
Thank you.
This is the total artificial heart, so you would take out her second donor heart and replace that with a third, now a mechanical heart.
Organ donation is something that could be more widely available if the law was changed.
I met Chloe for the first time when she was 11.
I was already on the heart transplant waiting list, but because I got so bad, they moved me to Great Ormond Street.
Chloe at that time needed a ventricular assist device in order to survive until a transplantation. That's called bridge to transplant.
Because I had so deteriorated, it was my only lifeline.
My real involvement with Chloe began when I was actually attending a conference, and I received a phone call from the surgeon who had implanted the initial device together with me, informing me that they had transplanted Chloe.
Do you believe that the transplant will be the thing that will save your child's life? You are given all the options of things that could go wrong and things that could happen, but as in any parents, I think most parents would try to put it aside.
Surgeries are extremely complex, and sometimes, and unfortunately in this case that happened, the donor heart did not perform adequately and then failed completely in her body. That left her without a new heart. And they were stuck with that situation, and there is very little, or actually nothing, that you can do.
You know, thank you. Your world is just falling apart again. And when you were up in the morning, you were back down in the afternoon. And you're in a desperate situation because you don't know what to do next. And you don't know if anything can be done.
I talked to the mother and the father and said to them very clearly that, and I laid the options down too. I said the option that we wait for a transplant, and it may have to be a heart and lung transplant, I don't know.
When you know how long we had to wait for a heart, we knew that wasn't an option.
Or we withdraw the life support.
So the second option was not an option, basically. And the third option, luckily, was
the use of what's called a total artificial heart, which is a replacement of the heart with a machine that then pumps blood again.
The artificial heart turned out for me to be just like the thing that would be make or break for me. It was my lifeline, and this was my very last chance of life.
This is the total artificial heart, the two ventricles with the drive lines going in and out through which the air is pumped. And then this is the pumping chamber, and this is the pumping chamber. There are valves here. These are missing for demonstrational purposes. It is quite big. It makes quite a big noise. The blood goes in here and out here, and you can see in here is a very special membrane, 7 layers that goes back and forth. Of course, this cannot break because otherwise the device would fail. So we did the operation on May 1st.
I was luckily oblivious, but also unfortunately oblivious to what was going on.
It was very complex, took many hours, and the part of rebuilding the anchor part that was missing because of the transplant, that had never been done before anywhere, but we were very successful.
After Chloe's operation of the artificial heart, she stayed at the Brompton for a while, and the nurses and doctors from Harefield and Brompton relayed each other 24 hours a day to look after her.
When she arrived here, she began to make good progress, surprisingly good progress, and she actually progressed to the point where we were happy to put her back onto the transplant waiting list.
It's just unbelievable to know that your child's got another chance so soon.
In the United Kingdom, it sets a precedent. And there is now, of course, hope that should another child of appropriate size need something like that, that people will, in the medical community, remember that we did this and maybe be able to do this again. Whether it would be me or anybody else is completely irrelevant.
They did a wonderful job and we're forever grateful to them for what they did. They took great care of Chloe.
They've been so wonderful. You can't thank them enough. It's just amazing. And I love it when I go back to the hospitals and see everyone. It's just great fun.